2026 is going to be the biggest reset for e-commerce brands that we've seen in years. Not because of new channels, not because of AI, but because most brands are still operating like it's 2022. And the ones who adapt are going to scale faster than ever. So I can't believe it. We're already heading into 2026. And right now we're wrapping up all the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Q4 efforts. And now it's time to plan and figure out how we can absolutely dominate heading into this new year. Stay around to the end because I will be walking through some pretty unconventional cheat codes that I think will have a massive impact based upon the trends that we are seeing in the e-commerce world. For context, my team at TVG manages millions of dollars of paid media spend and works with some top names in the e-commerce game. We specialize in helping 7, 8, and even 9-figure brands scale across digital, including Facebook ads, email, creative, basically the essential things that is needed to scale an e-commerce brand in this new era. So what I'm sharing today isn't theory. This is what I'm seeing working on multiple accounts as well as being in this space for over 5 years. Okay, the first cheat code that I am extremely bullish on is IRL experiences. This is in real life experiences. Now you might be thinking, Patrick, you're a digital marketer. Why are you telling me to go in person and actually get my butt outside of my seat and behind my computer and go out and actually talk to people? I know, super scary, super crazy. Well, the reason why I'm telling you to do this is because people are craving community. People are craving experiences. And if you can figure out how your digital first e-commerce brand can get involved into in-person communities, that will have a massive impact on your brand. Now, not only can you get customers, can you get email signups through in real life events, but it's a great way to get social proof, great way to get content. And we've seen this over last year with like run clubs exploding, right? If you're like me, kind of an introverted person, I know this might be a tougher thing to do, but I'm telling you, go out and figure out what communities can you partner with, what maybe you can sponsor some events, right? And really have that presence, show up, get emails, talk to people, have people try your product, have tons of cameras there to capture content because we can leverage all of that on the digital side. And I think too many brands get stuck in their ways where they're just only focused on optimizing for ROAS, where there's actually real world impact that you can have with your brand that does trickle down and impact your e-commerce funnel. So why in real life matters, really authentic community, right? You can build a true community, loyal fan base, massive content leverage. You can create ads, you can create organic content, and social proof you can't fake. Taste tests or trying on things or trying a product. That's great content that can be used across all digital. So how to execute IRL, pop-up shops, right? Workshops, master classes, right? Depending on the product niche that you have. For example, we have a variety of brands that we work with, from supplements to apparel to leather bags and goods. Like there's just stuff all over the place. You could have like a whole master class, and even if you have like a good, like a leather bag or something, you could like have a workshop on how to create your own or something like that. Just get people interested in having a good time with you. So creator collaborations, right? Partner with influencers and co-host events that combine your audiences. Huge, right? If you have influencers, let's get them in person. Let's have a meetup. Let's have their audience come out. Huge opportunity. Niche event sponsorships like High Rocks and stuff like that. Get your brand out there. Get visible, right? There's a huge opportunity there. What I recommend in 2026 is start now to start planning these events, right? Every single quarter, maybe there's like one thing a month you can start with. It doesn't have to be big. Just get in real life and get in person with people. All right, cheat code number 2, creative at scale. So I talked a lot about this with the Meta Andromeda update, where a lot of brands in July, August, performance started to take a dip, but creative fatigue is accelerating. Now what happens, right? If you were advertising, let's just say before 2020, you could throw anything at the wall and you could get like ridiculous ROAS, right? And so why do CPMs rise? Why do ad costs rise? It is competition, okay? This is like social media advertising is not novel, it's not new anymore, so it's extremely competitive. So what that means for you is that you need to figure out ways to stand out. Okay, so what has changed? So higher CACs across the board, advertising costs continue to climb as competition intensifies, saturation is everywhere, more brands fighting for the same eyeballs on the same platforms, rising consumer expectations, audiences demand product quality, authenticity, and entertainment, and constant refresh is required. You need to become a media company. Now you know this, I assume if you've jumped into e-com, you know creative is important, but I'm telling you, investing more into creative, focusing more on creative, because media buying and like ad account structures and like audience testing, like yeah, that's part of it. But if you can just create banger creatives, I'm telling you, it'll make your life so much easier. So Creative diversity is a huge focus. So what are some creative types that you can produce? Founder-led content. Love a founder that can get behind the camera. If you don't have that, totally fine. Product demos, show exactly how it works. Good demonstrations. Really think out. You should be scripting out this content. You should be mood boarding this content. There should always be, every single week, content creative should be a focus for your team. Problem solution, emotional storytelling, testimonial driven, offer led. Like, we need a variety of content types. A lot of the ad accounts that we manage, we have to have various content types, and then also understand what part of the funnel are we targeting. Are they completely unaware, and then all the way down to most aware, right? And we need to make sure that we're hitting people at all angles, because that's what allows us to scale an ad account. All right, so the new creative model, you have to operate like a media company, weekly iterations, fast testing cycles. You have to have fast feedback loops between your media buyer, your ad strategist, and the creative team. Because if you're just operating blind, just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks, it just won't work. You need those feedback loops. Multi-channel repurposing. One shoot can become 20 plus assets across Meta, TikTok, YouTube, email, landing pages. Creative feedback loops. Like I said, use the performance data to leverage decision-making in the creative process. All right, cheat code number 3, landing pages. Your landing pages are like new ads. So we've seen a lot of brands start to take this more seriously, where brands are not just running ads to product pages anymore. And what we've done for a lot of our accounts is really focus on new customer acquisition. And so one thing that we use, a tool called Replo, but we want to optimize the heck out of your landing page, because conversion rate is a new lever, right? If you've just been historically running ads to your homepage or to your product page, you can make incremental improvements on your conversion rate that drastically impacts your ad results. So why landing pages matter? Really, like we've seen, cost per, like the conversion can have a drastic increase for going to like a dedicated landing page versus a product pages in most instances when we split test a product page versus a landing page. Conversion lift, right? If we can just increase your conversion from like a 2 to a 3% or a 3, even like a 3 to a 3.2 at scale, that has massive implications on your bottom line. And it just removes wasted ad spend, right? If you're spending all this money just to get a 1.5% conversion rate, we can get that up to 2%. Like, we're literally saving money on our advertising if we can convert more people on the page. So what to optimize? Dedicated landing pages per SKU. Now, I'm more of the mindset of dedicated landing pages per offer, right? So whatever offer you're running ad traffic to. And if you have like one product that solves different problems, you might want to create like different landing pages for each problem that you have. Super advanced. Once you start spending more, that becomes definitely more prevalent. Obviously, strong above the fold, like nail the headline, hero imagery, primary CTA, and the first of screen. Mobile first design. This is 2026. Come on, people are all on mobile. Social proof heat map. Place reviews, testimonials, and UGC, right? Offer stacks and urgency, clear repeating CTAs, so make it super easy for them to buy, checkout process, etc. And also double down on subscriptions. That's actually like a bonus cheat code, but if you have a product that can offer subscriptions, you need to be focusing on building your subscription base, because that's just monthly recurring revenue that comes into your business. All right, cheat code number 4, retention engine. So stop sending emails, build systems. Like I said, kind of piggybacking off that subscription topic, like lifetime value and retention, this allows the biggest brands to scale so fast. Why have we seen Groons explode over the last 18 to 24 months? It's because they nail retention, right? So priority number 1 is make sure we have our key flows in place. Priority number 2, make sure we're sending consistent campaigns. But really what we should be doing is mapping out the entire customer journey. So flows, behavior triggers, map out, the entire journey of a customer. When will they want to buy your product again? We need to make sure we have these automations in place, because a lot of this stuff is kind of a build once and optimize over time. Smart cross sells. How can we immediately upsell them to other products? Replenishment logic. Like I said, remind customers to reorder before they run out. Automate that next purchase. 3-day sales sequences, right? So when you're running a sale, weekend sale, make sure you have solid emails and SMS that are aligned to communicate those sales. Why retention fuels growth? More revenue per customer, right? You can continue to compete on the customer acquisition front, and of course that is a big focus. But if we can squeeze out more revenue from our existing customer base, that's more profit. That's more, that goes right down to your bottom line. Higher lifetime value, increased LTV allows you to outbid competitors on acquisition costs. Aggressive acquisition unlocked, right? The brands that are able to scale so much and spend so much on ads, they're scaling aggressively because they know their lifetime value. And it stabilizes your marketing efficiency ratio, which is something we'll talk about, but retention revenue smooths out the volatility of paid acquisition channels. Cheat code number 5, full funnel attribution. Channel ROAS is dead. Now, We still use ROAS here and there. Really, we use cost per acquisition. But just looking at these in-platform metrics, Meta's going to want to say one thing, Google's going to want to say one thing, Klaviyo, they all want to look like they're driving performance. And oftentimes when you add up, obviously like the Meta revenue, the Google revenue, the Klaviyo revenue, it's like above your top line revenue, right? So that doesn't make sense. So what we need to do is look at total spend versus total revenue out. So how we look at this for our brands is MER is the North Star. So total marketing spend divided by total revenue, simple, clear, actionable. Daily tracking, we need to monitor this every day, every week, make sure we're trending in the right direction. Blended KPIs, look at overall efficiency, not isolated channel performance. And then contribution margin focus, factor in COGS, fulfillment, optimize for profit, not just revenue. Attribution is broken. Stop trying to fix it. Yeah, you can use some third-party tools like Triple Whale, Hyros, but honestly, if we can look at this from more of a blended omnichannel approach, that's where we see the efficiency of our marketing. All right, cheat code number 6, founder-led content. Your founder is your differentiator, right? People buy from people. In the sea of generic ads, the founder's voice cuts through. It builds trust. It adds personality. Founder-led content consistently outperforms UGC. And if you're a founder that can be on camera, get on camera. And if you're not great in front of the camera, then find someone that's part of your team. Find someone else that can be the face of your brand, right? It outperforms UGC, creates deep trust, long-term affinity. People want to have that loyalty. They buy from people. They're not buying from ads. So you can also have that unique personality, your story, your voice, your vision, right? That is powerful. And if your founder isn't camera ready, not every founder wants to be on camera, and that's totally okay. You do need a brand face. So whether that's an employee, some brand ambassador, maybe a creator partnership, I think it's super powerful to have someone that's the face of the brand and can really connect with your customer base. All right, cheat code number 7, offer strategy. So creative hooks attention, offers drive sales. So a big thing that we've had to focus on with our brands in 2025 is money models, right? How do we model out the whole journey? And what's a good offer, right? Some brands benefit from a really like lower ticket offer on the front end. Sometimes we optimize for average order value, right? So we need to make sure that we have strong offers on the advertising side that has that direct response element that maximizes your AOV and makes you profitable as soon as possible. So hero bundles, obviously combine your best sellers into irresistible packages that increase AOV. Mystery boxes, create excitement and urgency with limited edition curated bundles. Seasonal drops, try before you buy, sample packs, sample boxes, replenishment offers, right? Automate your reorders with subscribe and save. Huge focus on what we're doing is how do we optimize for subscription? All right, so can we do like a welcome kit and then auto roll them into subscriptions? That's a huge focus as well. Cheat code number 8, omnichannel execution. So few and far between that we see single channel just work, right? At this point, you need to be operating on multiple channels, which I know you're juggling a lot of things, but as you scale, like of course you can start on one channel. Usually what we recommend for a brand that's sub $100,000 a month is like, let's focus on Meta, let's get Meta in a good spot. But over time, if we're trying to scale up to 8-9 figures, like a lot of the brands that we work with, this is kind of how we look at it, right? So Meta scale, Meta still tried and true. It's the workhorse for conversions and volume at scale. Google, typically a little bit more bottom of funnel, right? You're capturing high intent searches and retarget warm traffic ready to convert. So usually across our accounts we manage, roughly it's probably a 70-30 split between Meta spend and Google spend. Of course, it varies brand to brand. Email and SMS retention, we've talked about that. We need to drive repeat purchases and maximize customer lifetime value. TikTok, massive opportunity. TikTok shop, you can get some cheap awareness and obviously tap into some viral moments with potentially younger audiences, but really everyone's on TikTok in this day and age. Influencers and UGC, right? How can we like whitelist ads through influencers? And how can we, have strong partnerships with influencers? I'm bullish on nano influencers, micro influencers, not just dishing out checks to these large influencers and not getting a return, right? We want to be mindful of that. And then, like I said, landing pages and your website, like all these things need to be really dialed in once we start approaching that like $300, $500, $1 million a month mark. Okay, cheat code number 9, AI only works with systems. This is extremely important because I feel like some people think that ChatGPT can just scale their business. And the reality is that AI amplifies what you already have. It's a tool. It's a tool to be used in your existing systems. And if you don't have systems, if you don't have a creative system, if you don't have an email system, if you don't have you need these systems and then layer in AI, and that's when it becomes a force multiplier. So when AI actually works, it's a strong creative engine. clear offers, right? AI can test variations, landing page infrastructure, retention flows, attribution dashboard. The reality is that AI, what I've seen is that it can just make your team more efficient, right? So less overhead. You can 100% cut down on costs by implementing AI into your workflow. You can also just the speed at which you can rapidly test and get new ideas and get things live is huge. So it really makes things more efficient. So from a cost savings point, make sure you're implementing AI, make sure that you have AI implemented into your workflows. And really like, that's why I want to emphasize, like, focus on the system first and then layer in AI. Because some people just think like they're just on ChatGPT and thinking that's AI. There's tons of tools out there that can help you really crush it and really reduce your costs. I think the future of e-commerce brands are really lean teams that know how to leverage AI. And that's a big focus that we have with our clients, is make sure that they're super lean and getting the most out of their buck. Cheat code number 10, claim a niche early. Don't sell to everyone. So we've seen this in the last few years. You know, we've seen like pickleball and like high rocks and run clubs. I have a lot of background in the fitness space, but across the board, there are a ton of niches that you can capitalize on. So exploding niches to watch, like, of course, a lot of fitness ones, but functional fitness, paddle, pickleball, recovery culture, ice baths, saunas, alt sports. Like, these are a lot of the niches that have really exploded over the last 12 to 18 months, even 2 years. And so we need to be of the mindset of like, what's that new thing that's coming out? So whether you're about to launch a brand or you already have a brand, like, what are those communities that you can really focus on? Because if you can be that product or that business for that niche community, that separates you from the crowd, right? For example, supplements, like we always work with supplement brands, and when they try to sell to everyone, it's really difficult. But if they are supplements for a very niche, very specific customer demo, that makes marketing a lot easier. So why niche dominance works: deeper resonance. When you speak directly to a specific audience, your message hits harder, faster word of mouth, category leadership, stronger organic traction, and lower CPAs, right? Instead of trying to advertise to everyone, we're very niche and focus on that smaller community. So the 2026 advantage, just to recap, the 10 cheat codes here: in real life experiences, creative at scale, landing pages, retention engine, full funnel attribution, founder-led content, offer strategy, omnichannel execution, AI with systems, and claim a niche early. 2026 is the year where you're going to see the brands that do these things at a high level, they're going to absolutely crush. They're going to take over the market. And the mediocre or the smaller brands, it's going to be a lot harder. So if you're ready to absolutely dominate in 2026, what I invite you to do is to get a audit now. So what our team offers is a 100% free complimentary audit where we'll literally sit down, look at the whole year, look at your 2025 and figure out what are the gaps, what needs to be built out, and create a personalized roadmap to actually execute that. As I said, our team at TVG, our e-commerce growth team, that really has the capabilities to help you scale. And everything we do is custom, so we always like to do that first audit to figure out where are the gaps in your strategy and how can we help you get to that next level. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link down below. But if you want to just see more content just like this, I put out e-commerce trainings every single week, and hit that like button if you learned something new today.